Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. It's always important to make sure that you're content with who you are, even showing yourself appreciation and love for where you're at in this current moment while you're trying to progress towards different goals. Now, obviously, with my experience as a health club manager, as a personal trainer, the first thing that comes to my mind in these types of scenarios are fitness based. I've spoken to many people who are just so unhappy with where they're at, and they'll tell themselves that things will be different when they lose 10, 20, 50 pounds. And I understand that frustration. I've been in their shoes as well. And it's difficult to judge because you don't know exactly what it is that put them in this space to begin with. I know from experience, I would speak to people who just got a divorce, for example. When somebody just got a divorce, I always knew that they wouldn't need a lot of convincing to be committed to this lifestyle change because they had already gone through so much. And by the time that they are actually looking around at a health club, they know exactly what it is that they want to do. And when I've had these conversations with them, they would talk about how they needed it, they were depressed. They needed change. They'd been through a lot of upheaval leading into their divorce. And they'll say that things will be different when they lose the weight. They'll feel better as people. They may be more confident to pursue new relationships because they may be feeling unworthy or incapable of being desired. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's so much you could relate to with that. I think everybody can know what that space is like. But the truth is that future self is not a guarantee. We don't know what's coming down the line in 10, 20, 50 pounds, what to speak of 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 year. The future that people are holding off on being happy for isn't a guarantee. It's what is similar to what they say in meditation, right? They say it so much that it's almost cliche. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. The only thing that we have is this actual moment. And I feel that that obviously applies to everything. While we do want to move strategically and intelligently to give ourselves a better future, we don't want to do that while compromising this present and current moment. Because if you understand that that future is not a guarantee, if we were in a space where we weren't going to be here any longer, and we look back at the last several months, we look back maybe even at the last several years, that we're telling ourselves we're finally going to be happy when something happens and it doesn't happen, we'll realize that we lost so much time. So much time where we could have been looking at ourselves and looking at the world in a different type of way that will enhance everything that's going on around us, that'll make us so much more appreciative of what's going on around us and allow us to take advantage of life's opportunities. Sometimes when we get so down, we don't want to take advantage of a beautiful day to go outside and explore and see what's going on. We don't want to take advantage of an opportunity to spend time with a loved one or a close friend. We just keep thinking about that goal that's lingering in the future and how we're going to do everything else once that time comes. But until then, we're just not going to give ourselves that grace to be happy and content with who we actually are. And I know for me, thinking in terms of gratitude is definitely something that helps with that process. And the interesting thing about gratitude is It's no different than working out any other muscle. Sometimes you need to start small to be in the habit of going there much more quickly. But once you start getting used to it, then it gets easier and easier as you go along to snap right back into that space. I know that there are very many gratitude journals that are just as simple as writing down 5 things that you're grateful for every day. And the reason that this is nice is because when you first start, you may go with obvious things. You may be grateful for your family, you may be grateful for your job. But when you have to do this every single day, you'll realize that there's so many things to be grateful for that you may not have even considered. You may be grateful for air conditioning when so many people in the world don't have access to air conditioning. You may be grateful for your bed. You may be grateful for the flooring that you have. You could really go on and on and on. But the more you do this, the easier it is for you to understand that you do have things that you could look forward to, or you do have things that are advantages to other people. And I don't say any of this to dismiss somebody who is currently going through something that could be very extreme. If it's extreme enough, chances are I may not even know what it's like to be in your shoes. So none of this is a critique for the depression or the feeling down that somebody may be going through. It's just an alternative that is worth exploring. If you're not going to be happy until you lose that additional weight, you should know that there's somebody right now who would kill to be in your shoes because they're physically unable. If they were even to be able to come into this world tomorrow and have the physical capacity to make fitness a goal, they would be elated just to have that opportunity. And for that person who is unable to aspire to any fitness goals because of that handicap, there's somebody who may have been told they don't have much longer to live and they wish that they were in that other person's shoes. So there's always going to be scenarios like this where, as bad as it seems, there is somebody out there who would kill to be in your shoes, which is why I just think it's important that we're always understanding that we don't need to put conditions on our happiness. We don't need to put timestamps on our happiness, and we don't need to delay it. There is a space where you could be content with who you are as a person in this moment, even while it is you are trying to change your current situation. It's so often framed as an either or. I'm so unhappy here. I'm going to be happy here. But we could have these two thoughts in our mind at the same time. We could be happy with where we're at now, and we're going to be happy with where we're at in the future. And what's really special about this is the more you practice that now, the easier it's going to be, especially with fitness, to actually pursue that goal. As you know, something people just don't understand is going to the gym a lot of times is the easy part. It's the mental challenge that's very difficult. If you're trying to lose 20 pounds and you're trying to go to the gym, but you're also dealing with a lot of stress, a lot of unhappiness, it's like trying to do all of these things with a weighted vest on. And the more you develop yourself to learn ways to be a little more joyful about this pursuit, the easier it is for you to actually do that. So keep that in mind. That's all I got for you guys in this one. If you have experienced this, if this is something that you may be currently dealing with, I would love to know your thoughts. So please share a comment below, and I'll talk to you next time.